Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. It's Raleigh, and today we're going to be talking about homesteading. On my streams, we recently have been kind of talking about, like, I guess taking bets on like what would be the next thing that they're going to talk about, and I think the clear winner was Warclaw, actually. So a lot of people, at least on my streams, were thinking Warclaw would be the next thing to talk about, and I thought that ArenaNet would kind of keep some of the high end, like, I don't know, I feel like the Warclaw compared to something like housing is not like high on the, like, you know awesome feature list, I guess. It's like, I think the housing is a bigger feature than the Warclaw. So I was kind of thinking they would like ramp up to, get to like the high price items kind of thing. But apparently no, they're not. But it's funny because it's not actually them doing an article, but it's actually PC Gamer just released an article and a video to boot. So we're getting the whole thing. I kind of read a little bit. I saw some comments. I saw a little bit of some things on Discord and stuff, like snippets about people and what they think and blah blah blah, all this stuff, right? And like, obviously I've kind of been seeing, just because I'm preparing to like take videos, I'm kind of like pulling up the things and looking at everything and making sure that I'm not missing out on something. And I kind of got like a little bit of things. So I will tell you guys that housing, for me personally, is probably on the bottom of the list of things that I find like super interesting. I've never been a housing kind of guy. It goes right into the, like, the fishing thing. If you guys remember pre End of Dragons, during all of my streams and all my videos, I was talking about how much I like didn't care for fishing, and I still don't. Like, I think the way that they implemented fishing is fine, and it's a fun little mini game, but I tell you what, if I fish once a month, that is probably like a lot for me. Like, it's really like that. Nonetheless, I will point this out as well beforehand. Nonetheless, I am very excited because I know it is a high demand item. It's been in demand for a long time. People have been really wanting housing, and it looks to be, from the little bit of snippets that I saw, just now, it looks to shape up really well. So maybe, and this is kind of, I guess, a challenge that I'm not imposing on ArenaNet or anything, but like maybe on myself, and maybe see if, like, maybe there's something, maybe they can sway me on housing, right? I'm one of those people that maybe doesn't really put that much like thought, and it's not high on my priority list, and it's not really something where I'm like, I want housing. I would never say that, just because it's not really what I like to do. But maybe there's some things there that might entice me to kind of enjoy it as well and engage with the system. And I think one thing, and I'm gonna just, the last thing before we get started here, but I think one thing that I've thought about is my videos and stuff. So perhaps some of the more um, like visually less interesting videos that I make, where like I don't necessarily need a video. Like, if I'm not trying to convey something and I'm trying to like talk about specific things in game, maybe they will take place at my homestead in future videos, right? So kind of gives me a location of like, hey, we're here in the homestead, and depending on how much we can edit the homestead, make it like my own thing, and kind of show you guys a little bit of the housing that I might engage with. I don't know. Anyways, so let's get into the article. I gotta pull it up here. There we go. So we're gonna watch the video first, and then we're gonna read through the article. I gotta make sure that the sound is okay for you guys as well. So give me just a second as we go into the first, because it's 8 minutes. It's a long video. So let's make sure that you guys, yeah, you guys should be able to hear it. I'm hearing it just fine too. So let's kind of, I'm just gonna, I think for the first part here, I'm gonna do it on the highest quality, please. I think I'm gonna just kind of watch it through. You'll hear me say a little bit of things, and then we're gonna go through back again. I'm gonna give you guys like my actual impressions of, like, I might comment here and there as we go through, but I kind of want to watch it first. So, PC Gamer, all right, let's do it.
I'm Phil from PC Gamer, and this is an exclusive look at Homestead, the new player housing feature arriving in Guild Wars 2's next expansion, Janthir Wilds. ArenaNet calls Homestead the most player-friendly housing system in MMOs. Your home will exist as its own instance rather than being one of a limited number of plots in a larger district. So unlike a game like Final Fantasy XIV, you won't get the same neighborhood feel, but the benefits should be pretty
Okay.
obvious.
See some
You
decorations.
don't have to enter a lottery to claim your land, and there's no chance of getting evicted if you don't regularly log into the game. Instead, you just get access to your homestead naturally during the campaign. ArenaNet didn't go into too much detail about the story of the new expansion, but your new home is related to its new faction, the Lowland Kodan. The aesthetic reflects their cozy cabin vibe. So obviously the main draw with a player housing system is decoration, the ability to customize your space. But there are a couple of neat features built into the homestead. First off,
I like
they
that.
act as a sort of showroom for your in-game collection of skins and cosmetics. For this playtest, ArenaNet provided me with a preview account full of characters, all of them named after members of the PC Gamer team. Here they are now, just
Oh
hanging
my
out.
god,
In
what?
fact,
That's
any odds that
so
you leave in the
cool.
homestead will appear when you visit with another character. Up to 30 can sit around at a time. There's a little
30?
cave over here with a bunch more of them. Your mounts are here too. You can find them resting over by the stables,
Oh,
meaning you
that's
at last
cool.
have a way to enjoy the fancy jackal skin that you got. Because let's be honest, how often are you actually using it in the game? And you can pet the mounts.
Hey,
It's
I like
pretty
using
cute.
Jackal.
If you hop
Don't
on a
shit
mount,
on the
it
Jackal.
leaves your stable, even if an alt was sitting on it. And if we head over here behind the lumber mill and over to the pier, here's your skiff. It's a small touch, but having a home for your mounts and vehicles is a nice shorthand for cementing this as
I
your
like
own
that.
personal space.
Not like you can go very far
The
with
fun
it.
little
But...
aesthetic touches are all well and good, but one of my first questions when ArenaNet was explaining the homestead system was about resource nodes.
Okay.
So Guild Wars 2 characters already have a little personal space for themselves. It's based in their starter cities, called a home instance. There's probably a
That
bunch
is
of
not
players
the...
that have totally forgotten.
I'm gonna pause here real quick, just so you guys know. So everything we saw in the homestead was the account they gave them, but it looks like this guy has his own account because that is not the same account. It doesn't have the like dev menu at the top left and stuff. So it's really cool to think that like I don't know, like when people like, you know, I don't know, it's kind of cool to see like this guy actually like plays Guild Wars, you know, and he has the new pants, so I guess like he's been actively playing this, you know, recently, perhaps I would say, and I think that's kind of cool. So I just want to point that out.
Even exist. But for some of us, it's a daily ritual to visit and gather materials from any resource nodes we've unlocked or purchased. All of those resources are now also available in your homestead, as are any of the cats you've discovered around the world.
Okay, cats.
To move in with
People, a lot of people
All
are
of it
worried
just
about
carries
cats.
over. There's also a neat little new option that should make the gathering ritual a little less onerous. If we head over to this box, there's just an auto-collect button, and it instantly completes any node attached to that building. This function won't be available when Janthir Wilds launches. ArenaNet plans to add it during one of the quarterly updates following the expansion's release. But even in the short term, the resource nodes here are much more efficient than in some of the home instances, by which I mean the Grove. Over in this building, you will find the crafting bench that lets you create new decorations to customize your
fish
homestead.
tank,
It's a completely
hanging.
separate system
We'll look
from
through
the
those
scribing profession
in a
used to
minute.
decorate guild halls, but the benefit of that is it's going to be a lot cheaper to craft items. You will need to convert some of your materials into a new homestead crafting resource, and then combine it with some other resources to add that decoration to your library. I should say here, this is an early development build I'm playing, so there are a bunch of placeholder icons and text throughout the build. Don't worry if you see a little digging sign. Homestead crafting won't be tied to crafting XP at all. Instead, you'll unlock more advanced levels through the mastery system by earning experience in the expansion's new maps. Over 300 decorative items will be available when Janthir Wilds launches,
300? That's a
with
lot.
ArenaNet saying more will be added through festivals and quarterly updates to follow. In total, there should be around 800 decorations that will be craftable by the end of the expansion's update cycle. The majority of these will be earned in-game, although yes, some will be exclusive to the Black Lion Gem Store. ArenaNet stressed to me any decorations bought either with real money or by converting your in-game gold into gems will give you multiple copies of that item to place automatically, and also a recipe so you can craft as many of that item as you want in the future. If you've tried decorating a guild hall in the game, you'll know it's currently pretty basic. You grab a decoration, place it on the map, maybe spin it around a bit.
Yeah.
Really, that's it. For homesteads, the entire decoration system has had a pretty major overhaul. For the playtest, ArenaNet dropped me into a homestead that one of the developers had already started to decorate. Rather than a static prop, these
Wow.
houses over here are built from various floor tiles that have been repurposed as walls and roofing. The same with this lighthouse, which has been created from lots of individual
Whoa.
pieces
Someone
all
went like
fitted
full
together.
Minecraft
Now
on
when you
this.
go to place a piece and realize, oh god, that's way too big, you've got some
That's
options
huge.
to
What
turn it
is
into
that?
what you want. There's multiple skills on the menu that let you change the position, the
Look at the map, by
rotation,
the
the
way, guys.
scale of the item.
Oh, it's a dragon head.
Decorations can even be moved into the ground or into the air or into each other. So with a little
Or into
work
each
and
other.
creativity, you can make
Nice.
it fit your needs. It's a pretty robust set of tools. You can even realign the pop-up arrows to be pointed at the map's global X and Y axis or locally based on the way the decoration is facing. And you can copy the scale and rotation of your last placed item so you can more easily reuse
That is
tiles
so
when you need to
intricate.
put
Holy
a lot of them
crap.
together for a desired effect. Even once they're placed, you can switch over to the modification menu and adjust any existing item, giving you some power to fine-tune things after the fact.
Looks
There's even
delicious.
a new X-ray vision mode, so that you don't lose items into the floor.
You can put a Joko in the ground.
And you can see a glowing item even if it's through something else, and it lets you remove it more easily. Also, if you just need a different perspective while you're creating, just turn into a bee and fly around. I'm not the type of person who's
we've
so
never
good
seen an
deep in
actual bee.
creating
We've
some
seen like
grand
a
elaborate build, but
super
even so,
adventure
I
bee,
had a
but-
lot of fun just messing around with the tools. Guild Wars 2's world map has expanded a lot over the last decade, so there's already a pretty broad set of decorations available. It's multiple regions and aesthetics. It's kind of fun to experiment with what's there, even if the result is just some garish dragon statue barfing rainbows. There are also a couple of new types of decoration. I really like these armor stands, which let you create a statue of your character. You just place it down, interact with it, and it will copy what you're currently wearing, and then you can set it to one of a number
that's
of
so cool.
poses. It feels like a fitting way to honor the true endgame of Guild Wars 2, fashion. There's a matching weapon stand too, so if you want to fill your home with reminders of the many hours you've spent crafting legendaries,
oh my god, what?
Naturally, if you're going to show off your collection, you'll need to invite your friends along, and while they're there, if you trust them, you can let them decorate your homestead too. There's a special permission in the menu that turns on group
Someone was
decorating,
in
it does mean that they'll have access to your library and can just place and modify things around the map. Overall, I'm impressed with what I've seen. Player housing is one of the bigger features on the community's wish list, and the toolset here should let more artistic players create some really cool, surprising builds. It's certainly a huge improvement over what's currently in the game. Although, if you are a guild decorator looking on in Envy, ArenaNet did say that the new decoration skills and placement options are going to be ported over to guild halls too. Really, for me, it's the smaller touches that I'm most excited about. A hangout for my alts, a stable for my mounts, and the ability to show off the weapons and items that I've spent time creating. I'm probably not going to spend hours painstakingly creating an entire village from the ground up, but I love the idea of having a space that celebrates my in-game achievements, whether that's through decorations that recognize some big end-game accomplishment, or just a massive statue that shows off some cool armor that I spent ages crafting. Guild Wars 2 players will be able to get their own homestead on August 20 when Janthir Wilds releases.
Oh my god. So I love this. Okay. So there's a couple of things that I kind of just want to like mention before like we get into it. So like I'm impressed. Like I got to say that this is very intricate, and I'm very impressed. There's a couple of things that kind of bother me. So let's go through a little bit. So first of all, so the one thing that kind of bothers me is it seems like this main house, you can't get rid of, which is, I guess, understandable because you gotta have like a base of operations or something. I'm guessing I don't know. I don't know. I wish we could just like completely flatten the land and like not have any buildings on it and then build our own buildings. Like that would be kind of my hope. So that's a little, while I don't mind the house, but if I'm trying to build something that's completely different looking, if I'm trying to build something that's Asuran looking, this house is going to stand out, right? So that is kind of like my first concern that I have. Maybe that is not true. I don't know. Maybe we can get rid of this house. Maybe that's something that's going to come later. I don't know. But But yeah, so Phil Savage is his name. Yeah, UK editor in chief. Nice. Okay. So he seems to know his Guild Wars. So what I meant earlier when I said like, oh, he actively plays Guild Wars 2. Sometimes I find it weird when they have like articles made by people and they clearly don't know anything about Guild Wars 2, and they kind of were like just given some points and thrown into this thing to try out, and they haven't played Guild Wars in a long time. Like they don't know anything that's happening. But this guy seems to know like what's up, and I like that because it really shows that he knows what to highlight and what to talk about, what the people are interested in, and not just like some random stuff that no one cares about. So I really like that. I think I'm gonna kind of turn off the sound here, and we're gonna just kind of visually go through. So we have seen this in the trailer. So this is the first look. I obviously, and I've talked about this, I really love the little details. That there's a little Joko statue back there. That we can see there. I love the little furnace here. I like the chest that they have. I think it's one of the what is this? What kind of chest is that? I don't remember. It's one of the newer expansion chests or whatever. So I really like that. We have the lion statue in the back. There's the this is where you can get your materials, like the black lion hunting board or something is what it's called. I guess that's sitting right there. I don't know if you can change that. Ooh, go back a little bit. What was the last part there? A waypoint here. Maybe you can modify the way the waypoint looks, because that right now is a Secrets of the Obscure waypoint. So I don't know. I'm not sure. That lighthouse. I mean, that's like fantastic. Are you kidding? That's really really cool. You get this little water mill here. So I guess they have little areas. They have the like water mill for the like logging area with all the trees around it. Then they have like a little mine for all the like the ore and stuff that you can mine. And then they have probably a little patch somewhere where you can get all your like grassy things, like a little patch of this, right? So that is the logging area that they kind of show. There's the portal, I guess, out of it. So that's like when you come right to your instance on the right, you'll have the lumber mill there with saw in there. I like this little like side addition to the thing. So ArenaNet didn't talk about the story, is what he says in that moment. We've seen kind of this is the other side of the house. Here they kind of show you. I love the little details. Like I was saying earlier, like I really love this. These little, it's like a little like a crystal that's hanging on a thing. We're gonna see one that's like right here on the side. It's really really cool. Like ArenaNet is so good with like putting little details in, even if they're not like highly like super high def and like the best textures, but they're still kind of there and they add a lot of flavor. And they've gotten really good with that over the last few years with like, so this little thing right here, it's like this wooden, it's like this looks like it's like a tusk or something from a creature or something, or like horns or antlers or something, and then there's a little like glowing crystal that's sitting on it. That's so cute. I love that. I'm like, that's a cool decoration. Can't wait to get that. I mean, it looks like all these plants and stuff, like maybe the shelf comes as a whole, but it would be kind of cool to get all these like hanging plants and stuff. How many did he say? Like 800 or something? Is that what he said? 800 decorations?
This playtest, ArenaNet provided me with a preview account. PC Gamer team. Here they are now. Is it with
hold on.
a little cave to enjoy the game? We head over here behind the lumber mill and over is a. But one of my first questions when ArenaNet neat features built into the home system is decoration, the ability to customize your space. But there are a couple of neat features built into the homestead. First off, they act as a sort of showroom for your in-game collection of skins.
Okay, I guess we'll get to that. I don't know how many there are, but yeah, so there's a lot of like decorations that they have. I like these little fields. I hope we can kind of get rid of them if there's nothing on it. Again, I would like, I mean, it looks like when you look at the map down here and it looks like the water isn't quite, it doesn't look like the biggest space. Obviously, they can't have like giant instances where you make however many things, but I kind of want to have like, it looks like there's a lot of space to do something on. I will say that. But yeah, so being able to have your alls kind of hang out you can have up to 30 of them hanging out, and obviously you can tell them if they should be dancing or not. So this is the PC Gamer team that's hanging out here. Really, really cool. I love that. That was one thing that a lot of people wanted to see, is being able to show alts. I have right now, I think I'm right at 30 characters that I have. I think my 30th character came with Janthir Wilds. So I think I have like 29 alts, I guess, if I have one character, one main character or whatever. Um, so I can display all of my characters, which is kind of cool. I really, I mean, that's something, again, I'm not huge, like, I don't know if I'm really gonna engage with the system, but I might, and it would be really cool to just have a character. And like I said, if I'm recording videos, having like my other characters hang out from my other videos and stuff, that'd be kind of cool. I'd be very excited. I'm very excited about that part. Um, so they kind of show that off. Then there's, I guess, more hanging out in the cliffside on the side. So there's different spots where you can place them. Then we get a stable for your mounts, and you can kind of just have them hang out here. Again, I don't know if these are like specific spots where you can have them sit, but it's really cool. I mean, having a little mount stable, um, that's really cool. Again, it's just kind of like, hey, you can hang out with your mounts, but treat them more as pets rather than like just mounting. So it's really cool, and it looks like you can like yeah, you can like pet them and stuff, and they like do little emotes and stuff. It's like he goes up to the jackal and he's like, "Oh, you don't use it anyways." It's like, I use my jackal all the time, by the way. And you can have your alts, I guess, ride on them. So there's a little like animation thing where the guy kind of like clips through the ground. But nonetheless, I mean, it's really really cool. I love that so much. There's a logging area. Your skiff, you can show off your skiff. Which I love the skin that he has here. It's really really cool. I love that. Kind of having it harbored next to the mill. Really cool. I love that very much. Not that I use my skiff a lot, but there it is. I love the white stag. That's from the personal story. So then, like I said, so the this guy plays Guild Wars 2. He has his own account, and he's kind of like, okay, well, what about the stuff in our home instance? And ArenaNet says, well, it's all gonna move over. So we're gonna have our cats, our gathering nodes, all of those things. Is going to carry over into these little, oh yeah, the plotted land is right out here. So and you can click the store box. So these store boxes where you can kind of gather gather all of the things associated with that. I guess they're not going to come with the initial release, which is kind of strange in my opinion, because it looks like, I mean, maybe there's some like debugging that they still have to do with it or something, but it seems to be like, and he's saying that this is an old dev build, so this is not the like current build that they have, mind you. But it seems already to be working just fine, so it's kind of weird that they don't give it to us like right away, but I guess they want to kind of like give us more and more features as we go on. So but I love the store box feature. I really love that, because sometimes gathering all your resources and stuff is just like so tedious, especially when you have a full. But look at that. It's like it all goes into your inventory, and look at all the stuff that's out there. And you can just, you have to go into the mine. You can literally just be like, yeah, I'm just going to gather from here. So bloop, and he does that. And it's really cool. I really, really love that. I think that's super cool, super interesting. Workbench. So then we get the handiwork workbench. So this is where you create all of the decorations are made in game through using, I guess, certain materials and stuff, and blah 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 blah. So we have a fish tank, we have a hanging lantern, we have a painting, a wall mirror, a woven divider, a bamboo clump, display stand, Canthan cherry tree, display case, legendary spear name, petite statue of Joko the Immortal, probably the one that's sitting in the shelf there, something like that. Bone bookshelf, condiment, feast, hammock, refined end table, woodsy cabinet, a rug, wardrobe, large Elonian planter, tea set, cottage walls, hero statue, ivory couch, painting, a lot of stuff, a lot like food items too that you can kind of place, which is cool. I like that. You will see him like kind of not struggle to, but kind of like adjust the food. I guess it's one of the feasts that is on the table, but you gotta, for these fish tanks, you gotta get like certain fish and stuff, refined homestead metal. So there's gonna be a lot of stuff that is gonna be very involved. And yeah, and here you can see he's getting a certain fiber based off of like turning in a lot of these things, which is kind of cool because I don't cook. like ever in game, and I have like a ton of these things, so it'll be kind of nice to just exchange those and then be able to use that to craft new things. Mind you, there is a weekly limit. You can buy 200 of each of these. And it says only show my profession, so it seems to be that they're doing that. There's three different like, or that there's like for different I mean, I don't know why it says only show my profession. I don't know if that's something that's set for the vendor type or something, but it's interesting to kind of like, what does that really mean? Someone in the comments can explain that, what that will mean to, because I don't quite understand that. But it seems to be like there's a weekly limit, so you can't immediately like exchange all of your stuff, which is fine, whatever. I mean, as time goes on, it's whatever. So yeah, and then you get this like specific materials. So just so you guys know, our material storage is probably going to expand by a lot, because it looks like there's a lot of little things that are going to be used in this. But they're not going to use just those. They're also going to use regular materials. So I mentioned something about this on, and I guess it's a perfect time right now to bring this up. Someone on Reddit posted about housing. What do I need to prepare, right? And a lot of people were kind of nasty towards that person, because they were saying like, wow, we don't know anything about housing, so how are we supposed to give you an answer to that, right? And it was just kind of like, well, I guess it's not the smartest question, because indeed we don't know much about it, but actually was a straight up answer that you could give, and that's what. So I ended up commenting on it, and I said, gather materials. Because if we have another profession, like I'm telling you guys right now, keep all of your, if you're working on a legendary, I get it, or if you're working on like armor sets and whatever, right? Like I get that, but right now I would really say like save all of your materials, right? Like get as many materials as you can. We have the Festival of the Four Winds coming up. I know that that is like a huge thing where people like to just like, exchange all of their currency, but that might kind of be a trap, because if you're exchanging all of your currencies for those Zephyrite boxes, supply boxes or whatever they're called, you might go into Janthir Wilds not being able to get all of the stuff that you want to get right away. So if you're excited for housing, my recommendation personally is don't indulge too much in the Festival of the Four Winds and exchanging all these materials that you might think you're not using right now, but you never know. You might use them for the workbench coming Janthir Wilds. So that's kind of my recommendation. Save your materials, gather as many materials as you can, and yeah, and just kind of hold on to them. It's like, yeah, you might miss out on the festival this year in that sense. I mean, there's obviously a lot of other things you can still do in the festival, but nonetheless, that would be my recommendation for you guys. I'm going to be doing that. I'm going to be saving all my materials, and I'm not going to exchange anything. I'm not really working on a legendary right now, and that's okay. So I just want to get. The thing is, I did say earlier that I don't necessarily want to engage with the housing system, but there will definitely be. I will put some kind of time into it. I will definitely put some kind of effort into it, making some kind of housing. It's not something where I'm going to be like doing this every day and like hanging out every day and like streaming that every day, like working on my house and stuff like that. But it's definitely something where I'm like, I kind of want to design a homestead, make it look cool, right? Get enough things, engage with it, for the mastery system and like these things, right? Engage with it as much as I can, and then and just kind of maybe I'll, once I'm happy with it, I'll probably leave it for a long time and not really do it much with it, unless we get like really cool new decorations. But it is definitely something where I'm like, well, I at least want to get as many decorations right off the bat, or be able to get as many decorations as I can right off the bat, so that I can create something that looks kind of cool right off the bat, kind of thing. So my question also is, they talk about like how guild decorations and stuff like that. I guess they don't count at all. Like, I guess any of the guild decorations that we have are not counting towards our own that we have. So even if you think like, I'm guessing that's how it works. So even if you have like, 200 of whatever in your guild decoration storage that's probably not usable in your homestead because that's exclusive for your guild halls, and for your guild to use. So we probably are going to start from scratch, not having anything. There's probably going to be a base set of things that are going to be unlocked, like specifically what this Coden guy that is giving us the homestead, because that's kind of in the trailer we heard about how he's like, oh, this used to be my home, but it's not anymore. You can probably use it, right? Like we kind of hear that in the trailer for Janthir Wilds. So maybe the base things that are in there are going to be unlocked for us, and we can kind of like already craft those. But as we go into further in, like anything past that, you have to like probably learn. So I love the sawmill spinning. It's really cool. Love the little details. So you can go in the house. This is really cool. Do you guys see that little like amethyst crystal? I noticed that earlier. We're gonna see that again later. This little amethyst crystal that's sitting out on the shelf. I wonder if that's something that we can create, because I would be super interested in that. Building like a little cave with like crystals and stuff around. Like I wonder how many of those things there will be. That's really cool though. I noticed that earlier and I was like, oh, I love that. Yeah. So these are the decorations. It looks like you can have 1,000 decorations placed in your homestead, and you can have up to 250 of each decoration. Obviously, they gave him for this dev build all of the things. These are already, a lot of these are already existing things. I'm pretty sure, right? Like the pumpkins and stuff. Like even this pot right here, I think is something. I think a lot of these are already available. So I'm guessing. I'm guessing all of these are already available, because these are the new ones they're adding. I'm guessing. I'm thinking the guild decorations, while we can't use the ones we already have, they're gonna still carry over the guild decorations that are available in game as decorations that we can craft for our home set. So even if you think like, oh, the cool hologram of like Kralkatorrik flying around is only available in our guild hall, you probably will be able to craft that for your homestead and have that in your homestead. So um, then he shows off right here the enlarging and shrinking. I don't think that's been a feature, and being able to move it underground and stuff. So that's really cool. I really love that. I'm a huge fan of that, because there's like certain things that you can really make look like, where you're like, oh, I have the statue, but I only want to have the head of the statue, right? And being able to move that into the ground and like just have the head on somewhere or something. Like there's so many interesting things that you can do. Or if you want to do like, let's say you have a statue, but you want to do something really cool where you have like all these hands coming out of the ground. I don't know. I'm throwing out like random things, right? You could literally just move it into the ground where just the arm comes out, and you can have like a bunch of them, and it's just like it looks like a bunch of hands that are coming out of the ground. Obviously, that's like, where's that coming from? I don't know, but it's just like a random idea that I had, like of something that you could create. So that's really cool. Then we see him here, like the little candles that are sitting there. You can replace those, right? And replace. He kind of shows off how decorations right now work in the guild hall. You can't resize them. You can just kind of just place them. So then they show off. I guess one of the developers went kind of crazy and made like a little like this is like a Terry town from Zelda, right? Where it's like a little plaza with like all these houses built around it. It's really cute. I love it where they made these little houses. So to kind of show off that, hey, you can build your own little like home house or whatever. And then this lighthouse. I mean, that is really cool. I love that. It looks really, really cool. And I could totally see like, someone could even build like a staircase around it that leads up to the top, like and have like this be part of like a jumping puzzle. I think the jumping puzzle aspect and the it looks like they built something over there that's like a racing arena. Like that looks like they built like a rollerblade racing arena or something over there. That's gonna be next level stuff. Like people are gonna be creating some crazy stuff with this. Okay. Where they're gonna do the most amazing of jumping puzzles and the most amazing of racing tracks. Like I can totally see this be a thing. My question will be, how far out can we build? Can I build like till the very end of the map, or can I only go like right at the like front here? Like right where the water starts. Like how far out does it go? Can I build a city on? Can I build a little town on the water? You know, like, or can I even build a town in the water? Can I build a little Gungan city in the water that, you know, and just hang out there and I don't know, have like a Quaggan themed character or whatever, like a Largos themed character that's hanging out in there or something, you know. That remains to be seen because we don't see much of it. My other question is, and you know, I don't know if this is like gonna be because he doesn't show the map or anything right now. Well, maybe we could go back to a point where he shows the map. It says nighttime right now. So there is I guess a day and night cycle. My question is, can I just change the time of day? Because it says daytime right there. That would be the other question for me. My question would be, can I change the time of day? Can I have it, or can I set it to be, in this instance, it doesn't change or something? Like, that would be interesting to me because I would like to have it like where I'm like, oh, I can have it like be middle of the day the whole time and it doesn't turn nighttime or something. Like, you know, hopefully there's an option like that. Maybe that's an option they can add later. So, ArenaNet, if you're listening, if that's not an option, I would like to see that for my homestead. Kind of have the let me change the time of day, you know, kind of have that. Maybe weather effects. We've seen a lot of like the leaves flying through the air and stuff like that. We've seen a lot of that stuff. Let me add some rain or some snowfall or something like that to give it like thematically, you know, if I want to do like a snowy landscape for Winter's Day, I want to create my homestead. Someone wants to sit down and they want to say, you know what, Winter's Day is coming and I'm going full on like Christmas and I want to create a Christmas themed homestead and you know, like, you know, they have the opportunity of like adding snowfall onto the map and like really give you the feeling of that. That would be kind of cool. So those couple of things, if that's not something that's on ArenaNet's list, I would love to see that. Okay, so that is one thing that I would like to see. Yep, and then we have seen this. We move on to, I was already further ahead, so we have that. Then he's placing that giant dragon head. Is that already available in game? Is that a guild decoration? It's huge. It's freaking humongous. He makes it tiny from what the original size is, but it is freaking massive. I mean, that's like really, really cool. Like, I would love to see, like, I would like to place that like on the side of the mountain. Just have like a dragon head coming out of the side of the mountain. Like, that's just fantastic. What is up there? What is attached to the, do you guys see that? There's something attached to the top. I don't know if that's, I don't know if he shows that off later. Then he's kind of dealing with the food here on the table. Like I talked about, he's kind of like trying to perfect the way that it is on the table, that it's laying on the table. There's a Joko statue that's kind of buried. That's kind of smart, you know, that's kind of cool because it gives you a little bit of like, ooh, an ancient statue um of Joko, right? That's kind of buried in the ground. So I like that. That's really cool. And you can, I guess you can change the grass as well. You can take the grass out because everything that's highlighted is something that you can change, that you can move around, because that is the trick. So you can do all the trees. It doesn't look like you can do the houses, but you can do all the trees, all the grass. You can do a bunch of the things that are. Oh, someone, the guy built a dock over there, so you can change all that. I wonder what this arrow up is. Jacob Riley, one of the characters is here. I don't know if that's like, that's not from this, right? That's like attached to that name. I don't know what that means. It's kind of interesting, but yeah. So the yellow, because that's supposed to be highlighting and it makes it easier to erase something. Like if you've placed something in the ground and only a tiny little bit hangs out of it, and you can't really like click on it or whatever, you can highlight the rest of the body by with this eye icon, I guess, or whatever, right? And then you can delete it. So it's really cool. Gives us options. And you can turn it into a bee. We've not seen like a bee. Like I said, we've seen a Super Adventure Box bee. We've never seen an actual bee, like a big old bee like that. So is that gonna be a new enemy in the game, guys? Who knows? It's kind of cool. I like it. Yeah. So then he's inside of the house. He's decorating that. Really cool. I think that's gonna just be my little side house because I'm gonna build my own house. I think. I want to build my own house and then just have that be like the guest house or something. I'll still decorate it probably. And you know, if you guys are interested in seeing me decorate my own homestead, like after like because the initial, so just so you guys know, for the initial release of Janthir Wilds, and I will be talking about this more as we go closer, get closer to the release. But I will be streaming on that Tuesday of release day and that Wednesday the day after. So as is the regular fashion of how I've been doing these the expansion releases, I usually do one map a day. Since we're getting two maps with the initial release, I'm going to be doing the first map. I'm going to do the story for the first map. We're going to go through all of that. We're going to do map completion on that map. We're going to explore as much as we can throughout that day, kind of see where we're at, and then maybe go to. I guess we're getting probably another hub. I'm guessing there's probably going to be a Codan City or something that we're going to be at. But that's gonna be like maybe day one or day two, depending on like how long it's gonna take me to get through each of them. And then day two is gonna be the second map, where we're gonna do the rest of the story. Gonna go through, do map completion. I give you guys my impression of it. I'm not gonna do. I did 3 days for Secrets of the Obscure last year. Unfortunately, I can't do that this year. But yeah, I'm gonna do a couple days. But if you guys like, the week after or something, if you guys wanna see me decorate my homestead. Like I said, this might not happen during the first or second day of the release, but if that's something that you guys are interested in, let me know. Not that I'm very good at decorating things. I'm not like, I'll probably create something like that. Because I don't know. I've never been one of those people. There was a phase in my life where I was like really into Sims and creating like houses and making these elaborate houses. This was like during Sims 2 when Sims 2 came out. I remember that like I sat there for hours on end, like creating all these different homes and all this stuff. But I've never been really huge on like, ooh, let's kind of, whatever. And like maybe too much freedom might be a little overwhelming for me. But we'll have to see really like maybe it'll feel really nice for me to go in and kind of do it. But if you guys want me to stream that, kind of maybe a stream or two of like creating a homestead, and you guys can kind of hang out with me and kind of like whatever, watch me do it, or even hang out in game or whatever, you guys can just let me know, and I would be happy to do that. So then they show off the weapon stands, that we have the weapon and armor stands, which is really, really cool. So you get to actually show off your character. You can go on your alts and put on a set, display it, and then change your set, and then you're still gonna have the one that you originally had. Same with weapons. You can show off all your weapons that you want to do. If you want to set this, show off a specific weapon set. I guess every decoration, like I said, I think every decoration will have a limit of 250, so you can display 250 weapons. I mean, that's a crap ton. Like you could literally create a giant hall and just call it the Hall of Weapons, and just have like hundreds of weapons displayed. You could even have hundreds of the same weapon displayed. I mean, that's kind of crazy. I'm guessing that's where it's at. They usually stop things at 250, so I'm guessing that's where it is. So, and then you can have all your alts hanging out in different spots, I guess, on the homestead area. We see some of the decorations. They kind of show a lot of these things that are out there. There's that little amethyst thing that I was talking about. You get a closer look. And I saw that when we were initially watching this earlier, and I was just like, oh my god! I'm like, I want that. I want that everywhere. I love that. I love that. I have a bunch of those here in this room, actually. Like over there, there's a bunch of crystal things. But yeah, we got a look of the little crystals on the like antler thing again. I mean, that's really cool. I love some of these new decorations that we're getting. I love that little chimney. But yeah, I mean, it looks like we're gonna be able to craft all of these little things, which is super cool. It sounds very, very engaged. This whole system sounds very in depth. And very well thought out, and very much like it's very much on in the line, like in line with the things that ArenaNet has recently been doing, where they're like, we're gonna go like we're gonna do all of it, or we're gonna do none of it, right? And they're literally like, if we're doing housing, we're doing all of it. Like you can see your characters, you can see your mounts, you can see your armor, you can see your weapons, you can move things around, you can resize them, you can have 250 of each of them, you can have all these different things everywhere, right? They totally went ham, which is really, really, really cool. I love that very much. Like Mount Stable, having them hang out here. I mean, that's so cool. I would like to see a version maybe where the mounts would be without their saddles, where they just kind of like, because if they're sitting in your homestead, they don't need saddles on their back. So, but anyways, so let's kind of read the article. The long-awaited homesteads are finally arriving in our upcoming expansion, Guild Wars 2 Janthir Wilds, and PC Gamer has an exclusive look at what players can expect. Homesteads are a significant evolution of the home instances players are familiar with, although they aren't replacing home instances. Those will still be around, which is kind of a I don't know. It's kind of like, okay, well, no one cares at this point anymore, right? That's only for people that like. Let's get real. Who's gonna go back to their home instance now after getting homesteads? Like anyone that has a homestead, will probably just be going into the homestead rather than their home instance, offering an enhanced experience for personalizing and upgrading your in-game sanctuary. Items previously collected in home instances can be seamlessly integrated into the new homesteads, ensuring continuity and familiarity. Jesus, big words today. Players can increase their comfort level through various activities such as harvesting nodes, watering flowers, fishing, swimming, chopping trees, watching cats do cat things, and much more, all within the confines of their homestead. We get a little picture. Nothing groundbreaking there in the picture. Customizing is at the heart of the homestead's features, allowing players to tailor their space to their aesthetic preferences. New and existing decorations will be craftable through the new personal scribing crafting discipline. Additionally, players can stable their mounts at their homestead, giving them a much-needed rest after long journeys. All characters will also be making an appearance, adding another personal touch to each homestead. For a more complete overlook, we can do the exclusive. Here's the article. Okay, so let's read the article. I was just like, this is not the article I was looking for. So there's Phil Savage who took the video. Let's see if there's any new information that we have not gotten. Nope, I don't. Sorry, I'm not gonna sign up for that. So new information that wasn't in the video. Let's see. We have seen this. This was one of the early pictures that they did show us. We did watch the video. All right, so Guild Wars 2's new player housing will add a hangout for your alts, a stable for your mounts, and comes with a massive overhaul to the decoration system. An exclusive looks to the housing system. Guild Wars 2's next expansion, Janthir Wilds, is releasing on August 20th, and with it, one of the biggest requests on the community wish list. Homesteads are a new player housing, a new player housing system, giving you a chance to own a piece of the expansion's new territory and decorate and customize it to your liking. You'll gain access to your homestead during the expansion's campaign as part of your early interactions with the new faction of Lowland Kodans, a tribe of bearfolk with a fondness for cozy log cabins. It's an instance space. There is no lottery here to claim a plot in a larger district, and there's no upkeep costs or chance of eviction. Once you got it, it's yours. A patch of land to decorate however you wish, which is really nice. A lot of games kind of do that, and I guess they're kind of taking a jab at like the housing crisis that Final Fantasy XIV still has. Apparently, that's been persisted since the release of the game, where housing is so scarce. And even though they added like new districts and stuff, it's still like one of those things where it's like, oh, you're gonna be lucky if you get a spot somewhere, which is kind of a shame. But yeah, if you tried to decorate one of Guild Wars 2's guild halls, you'll know the current method of placing items is pretty basic. Luckily, Homesteads is bringing a major overhaul to the system. ArenaNet gave me exclusive access to a preview build of the expansion and its new Homestead toolset, and it's a big upgrade over what we currently have. New options let you move, rotate, and scale each decoration. You can float items into the air or clip them through the ground. You can even move items into each other, using them as smaller pieces of a larger build. I was giving access to a homestead that one of the developers had already started decorating. Its most prominent feature was a lighthouse they had constructed out of individual floor tiles, columns, arches, and ramps. It's an impressive structure, far beyond anything that's currently possible in the game. Once an item has been placed, a new modification menu lets you pick it back up and fine-tune it using the same options as during the initial placement. There are even a couple of more advanced skills, like setting the placement arrows to point in the direction of the map's global X and Y axis, which I don't even know what that means personally, so whatever, or locally based on how the item itself is facing. It's a little overwhelming at first, but it wasn't long before I was utilizing the full suite of tools to fine-tune some of my own creations. ArenaNet plans to port this expanded toolset over to the Guildhall system too, but otherwise the two parts of the game will remain separate. You'll craft homestead decorations not through the Guildhall scribing, but through a new crafting profession that's unlocked and upgraded through Janthir Wilds masteries. The benefit here is the resource cost is much lower. From what I've seen, recipes generally require a few low-level materials as well as a new homestead resource earned by converting wood, metals, and plants. Over 300, not 800, I said 800, or over 300 decorations are planned when Janthir Wilds launches, some of which will be there was an 800, I guess, at some point, because I had 800 in my head, and I'm like, I don't know why. Some of which will be familiar from the current Guildhall collections. Okay, so they're probably going to add, like, there's probably only going to be, like, 100 new ones and then 200, like, old ones. I don't know, throwing out a random number, but it's probably going to be more of the older stuff and not that many new things. Which is fine. Across the next year, new decorations will arrive during festivals and quarterly updates. So festivals, we're going to see some decorations come in, which is always nice. ArenaNet says by the end of the expansion's year-long cycle, around 800 decorations will be available. So they're going to be adding another 500 over 1 year span. Okay, 500 over a 1 year span. That's like what? That's almost like 1.5 a day of decorations that you're getting. That's a lot of decorations. I mean, that's a lot of decorations to be adding. So we're gonna see a lot of new stuff come into the game over this next year, decoration-wise at least. For the most part, the recipes will be earned in-game, with a few that are exclusive to the Black Lion Gem Store. So there's gonna be Gem Store stuff that they can sell. Here, ArenaNet stresses that any decoration spot, either for real money or by converting your in-game gold, will come with complete copies straight to your storage and a recipe that lets you craft as many as you'd like in the future. So I'm guessing, I don't know, throwing out, you probably get like 10 copies of something, and you can place 10 of those if you buy it in the gem store. Anything past that, you'll have to craft, which is probably fine. I mean, I think, you know, if it, like, I'm throwing out 10 because I would be okay with 10. Like, if I were to go and spend 800 gems on this really cool, you know, ornate statue of whatever, right, of like Melandru, and I want to place that in my home instance. I don't know. I'm just throwing out a random, you know, example, but you know, but they give me 10 copies of it, I would be okay. If they give you one of it, I wouldn't be quite happy with that. Like, I kind of want like more than just one, but they do say multiple copies. So it's definitely going to be more than one. I hope it's not just going to be 5. Like, I think 10 is a sweet spot. Like I said, it looks like you can have up to 250 of one. It also depends on the recipes, right? It also depends on, like, how hard is it going to be to create this ornate statue of Melandru that I just spoke of, right? That I just bought in the gem store. How, like, how many materials do I need to create more of these, right? That's kind of a question that I have as well. If you're not the kind of player who's going to spend hours going all Animal Crossing on a piece of land, yeah, I've never played Animal Crossing. It's never really been something that I've really been interested in. Homestead does have a couple of neat features to woo you. It acts as a showcase for your in-game collection of skins and cosmetics. Any alls you leave in your homestead, they'll get bonuses for resting in it, including for World vs. World and SPVP. Will still be chilling there when you log in with another character. There's also a stable for your mounts to hang out. Great news for anyone who's got a fancy jackal skin. They rarely have an excuse to see. Even your skiff skin is stocked, yeah, so you can see your mounts. A couple of new decorations also help show off your achievements. With an armor stand, you can make a statue of your character that inherits your current fit, dies, and all. And the weapon stand will let you display any weapon you've earned. So if you spend countless hours crafting legendary equipment, blah blah blah. Yep, we already know this. Your homestead also acts as a progression of the game's current home instances, located in each character's starter city. Any resource nodes that you've bought will be carried across to your new home, available for the daily gathering. And while it won't be available at launch of Janthir Wilds, a new auto-collect feature is planned for one of the quarterly updates that will instantly gather every node attached to your homestead's mine, logging camp, or farm. It's these extra touches that make homesteads an exciting new addition for me. I'm looking forward to seeing some of the grand builds that players can make with the overhaul decorations system, but it's not something that I'm going to spend hundreds of hours doing myself. You know what? I'm exactly where this guy is. Phil and I totally like mind link, like same wavelengths right there. Like that is exactly it. Like I'm super excited to see the amazing things. Like, and if you guys have like something really cool that you're creating in game, like if you guys want me to see that or something, you know, I would love to see those things, and I can't wait to see all the cool stuff, the jumping puzzles and the racing things and the like cool little like quirky little, I don't know, shrines to Joko that people are gonna build or whatever, right? Like I can't wait to see those things, but am I gonna be spending hundreds of hours myself doing that? I probably am not going to do that, you know. But nonetheless, I love the addition to the game. But between the mounts in my stable, the alls around my home, and the chance to show off some in-game trophies, it feels like a much better personal space than what we've had before. A way to reflect on and celebrate the many, many things I've done in the game over the last decade and change. So there you have it, guys. That is pretty much the first. That is kind of like the exclusive look here that we got. Didn't think we are gonna get one of those today, but we did get one of those. Yeah, so uh like I said, I'm not super like, oh my god, like I love some of the decorations. Like I said, the little amethyst crystal is like really cute, and I hope that we can make more of those. And if we can resize them, make like really big ones and stuff, like that would be really cool. The dragon head, like I said, I'm interested in like just placing like cool dragon heads around or something. Like we'll have to see really how much you can do with it. It looks like you can do a ton with it. You can really go ham with a lot of stuff. But yeah, for now, I mean, it's shaping up to be really, really good, and I'm very excited for the people that are looking forward to that aspect of the game. That are, I know there's a ton of people out there that have just really been wanting to go crazy on creating like a home, and it looks like ArenaNet, like it was kind of funny because when homesteads were first announced, a lot of people were like, "Oh, I hope we get to see our alts in there, and I hope we get to we have armor stands, and I hope we get like all these things." And I kind of was just like, "Well, I don't know if they're gonna do that. Like, I don't know if that's really gonna be added in." But it looks like they really like all the things that I've seen people ask for. I've seen them. Obviously, as I told you guys, like there's a couple of things that I myself like would like to see, like being able to change your time of day and weather effects and like those sorts of things. I would like to see that. But other than that, I think this is like a really good addition to the game. Very intricate, very well thought out, very like expansive, engaging, and like so much freedom of what you can do. So it's a great addition, and I like, I hope you guys are excited. Let me know if you guys are excited. If you guys are housing specialists and you play Sims for like 75 hours a day, and that's all you ever do, like because I know there's people out there that are like super passionate about doing that kind of stuff. Like the Minecrafty people. The things I've seen people create in Minecraft. I mean, they have like created amazing things in Minecraft. Terraria is kind of in the same thing, right? Where you can create all these things. So if, let me know if you guys are excited for this. I mean, I feel like you guys will be excited. And it's shaping up to be really, really good. So, yeah, anyways, thank you guys for joining me. I will be going live later on today if you guys are interested. We're currently doing a playthrough of Nightfall with a Paragon. We're having a blast with that. We're kind of talking about the story and Abaddon and all these things, Nightfall, and like all these things that are happening in the Ilona regions. So if you guys want to join me for that, I would love to have you. And if you guys haven't subscribed to the channel, I would appreciate that. And I will say that I am working on other videos. Actually, right before I started recording this video, I was working on a video. So I am working on other videos. So stay tuned for some of these structured videos, as I call them, to come out rather than these news videos that I keep making recently. But there are things in the works, just so you guys know. It's a lot of time investment. So anyways, thank you guys so much, and I will see you guys next time. Bye, guys.